Well, the anchor for Psychiatric Hospital in the Cape Coast metropolis of the Central Region has been compelled to place a ban on new admissions as a result of erratic flow of funds and drugs from governments. The hospital has also discharged many of its patients, particularly those whose conditions were said to be better than they were brought in. They are to report either daily or weekly, leaving 82 patients, 22 of which are women. According to the medical director of the hospital, Dr. Kwao Ama Alo, the remaining patients are those with serious conditions and those who need constant medical attention, and those whose families could not be traced. He disclosed that last year the hospital did not receive a regular supply of tracer drugs and was administering what was available, to which some patients sometimes reacted, adding the 1 cedi 20 pesos per inmate for a 3 square meal the government paid as against the 4 cedis 60 pesos due them was no longer forthcoming. The situation, according to Dr. Alo, led to the accumulation of debt to its suppliers, with which the government settled in November 2013. The anchor for Psychiatric Hospital has the capacity to admit between 300 and 350 patients.
The Atani district recorded a 20% pass in the 2013 Basic Education Certificate Examinations, and that's the BCE. The District Director of Education, Na Francis Chilaku Sigde, blames the abysmal performance on inadequate trained teachers and poor supervision. Jojo Kwabna in the following report, however, questions whether there may be other factors that may not be so apparent in the district.
Under a shed at Kwame Tinting in the Atani district of the Brongahafo region are children from primary 1 to 3 learning so they can make their future meaningful. Some look eager to soak up knowledge, but others have a burning issue to address: hunger. The break time bell bails them out, and they rush out, not to play, but to find fuel for their brains. We followed some children home. Almost all the children at school return home to eat, so they can quickly return to the classroom. Sami is lucky to have found food at home. Other than that, his grandfather explained he would have cooked something before going back to school.
If you are hungry, you cannot learn. When your teacher is teaching you, according to the hungry, you can't learn. They cook before they return back to school.
These pupils are also lucky. Their grandmother had food ready for them. But for 8-year-old Nuru, it is a different story. He has to cook during a 30 minutes break. He is saddled with another responsibility of taking care of his brother, who has a mental disability. Nuru is running out of time and hurriedly peels yam. Time is running out, so he leaves the food on the fire and runs back to school. He is not alone. Many pupils do the same thing. People stand close to the fire, anxiously waiting for roasted yam to be ready so they can dash back to school.
You're supposed to be in class. Why are you here? Talk to me.
You went to eat.
Have you eaten already?
No.
Why?
My mother go to the farm buy.
What are you eating? What do you have to eat?
Yams are abandoned in the fire to be consumed during the second break. However, this young boy is too hungry to wait. He bites into the yam, but his older brother takes it away from him. The school children settle down for lessons, but some still have food on their minds. Roasted plantains sticking out of their pockets.
Where did he?
Teacher Alex complained that sometimes the pupils do not show up after break.
Master, the situation has not been good for us at all. They have to go and prepare food in the house before they return from the break. By the time that they will come, they might have exhausted most of the time. In terms of academic excellence, we are not achieving it over here. We are not achieving it. And the lower primary, as we speak, is the backbone of the whole education. That is the foundation. So here we have major problem. That has been the major problem over here.
Out of 69 primary schools and 69 kindergartens, only 28 schools are covered by the school feeding program. Perhaps extending school feeding to Kwame Tenteng or sensitizing busy farming parents to provide food for their children could improve quality of education. Jojo Kobna, Joy News.
The Nkrakan RC Basic School in the Yilo Krobo municipality of the Eastern Region is in dire need of a classroom block to replace a dilapidated wooden structure used for the kindergarten class. Haruna Yusuf Wumpuni reports students want better classroom blocks to enhance teaching and learning.
We'll have to come to Accra, where a huge pile of garbage has been left unattended near the Agbogbloshi market and has now blocked one lane of the road. Apart from the blockade which is holding up traffic on the stretch, the traders at the market are worried about the implications of the garbage pile on their health. They say so far, attempts to get the issue addressed have so far not been successful.
Commuters, as a result of the heap of refuse which has overtaken one lane of the road, are restricted to a single lane. But for many traders here, some who sell very close to the dump site, it is a risk to their health that worries them most. An AMA task force spotted at the market seem oblivious to the situation and rather asked the market women to take up the responsibility of clearing the filth. The drains along the road have also been completely choked with filth. Traders and shoppers say the stench makes breathing difficult. The traders are also blaming a dip in their sales on the garbage heap. They say the city authorities would have to immediately redeem the situation.
Now, Ghana is making international headlines for the use and production of marijuana, as well as the trafficking of the deadly methamphetamine substance, a narcotic drug, according to a UN report. The UN released the UN released a report on Tuesday painting a gloomy picture for the country as far as narcotics is concerned. Meanwhile, the Narcotics Control Board has warned that the use and trafficking of marijuana could plunge the country into chaos, as the drug is currently found in every nook and cranny of the country. NACOB says despite the fight against the illicit drug, the country's acceptance of the drug and complex networks of its pushers are making it difficult to fight it. Speaking at the launch of the annual report of the International Narcotics Control Board in Accra, Executive Director of the Narcotics Control Board, Akresi Sapon, called on the media to lead the campaign to fight the use of illicit drugs in the country.
The Adome Bridge will, from Monday the 10th of March 2014, be closed to vehicular traffic. According to the Guyana Highway Authority, this is to allow for major rehabilitation works. The closure will last for 24 months, and motorists are to use ferry services provided at Saint-Chi and Akradi to cross the Volta River from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening daily. The statement from the Highway Authority adds Now, the maximum length of vehicles to be allowed on the ferry will be 18 meters. It said truck drivers wishing to use the ferry are to obtain a weighing certificate from the Ghana Highway Authority Axolo stations at Apaso, Akradi or Dropong before being allowed onto the ferry. A statement said alternatively, vehicles from Accra going to Ho and beyond may use the Accra-Sugakofa-Didome Road and vice versa.
Some transport operators appear to have defied a warning by the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council that commercial drivers desist from unilaterally increasing their fares following a recent fuel price increase. Our checks indicate that some of the commercial drivers have increased their fares by some 10 and 20 pesos.
Prices of petroleum went up by 3 and 6% just this weekend. The price of petrol increased by 6.25%, that's selling at 255 pesos per litre. Kerosene saw an increase of 6.12% and diesel at 6%. The price change is as a result of the National Petroleum Authority's regular review of petroleum prices in line with the adjustment of the price of crude oil on the world market. It is in the wake of the current increment of petroleum prices that commercial drivers are contemplating increasing their fares. According to them, the current situation is having a great toll on their businesses.
Every month be a 2 fuel. And so yes, high because they say the ship to any ship out driver for no taxes and a yard door somewhere. So
no, but what the government is saying, I don't buy it because you have increased the petrol. We have to buy how they call it, spare parts and all those things. So if the government say we should not increase, I don't take it as they were saying. It's not proper.
Oh, did I bet to Muna says surprise in Union by saying to Munti, old price, you know. Yeah, you're man and a doors on the
Meanwhile, officials of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union are yet to officially respond as to whether transport fares would be increased or not. When contacted, officials were locked up in a meeting with the Ministry of Transport to find a solution to the matter. Officials say they will send an official communique on the matter on Wednesday, March 5.
Well, the issue of homosexuality has always been sensitive, hasn't it? And, Cardinal Peter Turkson has criticized Uganda's anti-gay law and called for a repeal of its severe penalties. Cardinal Peter Turkson, who is president of the Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace, says that homosexuals are not criminals and should not be sentenced up to life in prison. Speaking to reporters in Slovakia's city of Bratislava, where he attended a conference on the Catholic Church and human rights, Peter Cardinal Turkson said the Vatican also calls on the international community to keep providing aid. Uganda has been hit with substantial aid cuts in reaction to the law. The World Bank has postponed a $90 million loan or dollar loan on Uganda's health systems. Pope Francis has made a point of reaching out to gays, famously saying, "Who am I to judge?"
Now, despite assurances by the Ghana Water Company that normal supply of potable water after the shutdown of the Pond water treatment plant should be restored by Monday, which was 2 days ago, a number of communities are yet to see water flowing through their taps. The treatment plant had been shut down to allow for major pipeline interconnection works.
Some areas yet to see water flowing through their taps include Jolu, Roman Ridge, Accra Newtown and Mamobi.
First na eba. Se said the wura afiwe no nyina and timimba eba once a month and 2 days na ewuma and timimba entina gallon ma aye line say ye twen sua emba.
So once more there de my ban. na nse nyina ye nyansu.
When was the last time?
Aya ye ko chin ye ko pebi ansana. Ye ko ye nima, ye ko nya wo ho no ma na akoto bi ho.
Other residents at Jolu say they have to rely on the railway community toilet borehole water for survival.
Chimele miasio for months eke ya na time bale chejile fi kwe efi kore dodole.
For Madame Elizabeth, who has been selling water to residents of Mamubi for the past 20 years, water has been very difficult to come by for more than 2 months. She fills her polytank on daily basis with supply from water tankers, a situation she says is badly affecting her business.
Gallon 20 pesos, they made zani. Ka ne ekiva no ntoa. Fifi I made 30 pesos. Kakana zile vo mama tetamu. Atema na 1 cedi. Allo 70 pesos. Afina kpomu viar. Na kwashina na ma amomata zeno ina kakal nima. Oikere nima. Nima apoba afima gaboboa. Mak amokata ozo nima. Kano tuki kwa afi ozaga 1 cedi aro 70 pesos.
Residents are now having to trek long distances in search of potable water. The Ghana Water Company in a phone interview concedes it will take a few days for the situation to normalize. According to Director in charge of Corporate Affairs, though normal supply is yet to be restored, a number of the areas without water may have to wait for the completion of the expansion project. He mentions Tema, Ashaiman, as well as 37 and Cantonment are some of the areas where supply has been restored, adding that residents at Sakumono, Lashibi, Nungwa, Teshi and its environment should see water flowing through their taps from Wednesday, March 5, 2014. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
Acting President of the Ekumfi Traditional Council, Nana Imprim VII, has accused Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister Alhaji Collins Dauda of frustrating processes to extend water supply to some areas in the traditional area. The reproach came during a visit of President John Dramani Mahama to inspect a water project in the traditional area. Gifty Andoapia has the rest of the story.
The Gomwa Water Supply Project was a solution outlined by engineers in 2004 to end acute water shortages in Isacher and its environs. It included the construction of a dam, water intake and related structures on the Oche-Nakwa River. Phase 1 has been completed, but the second phase is what the people are still having to wait for. So when the chief had the floor at a deba organized for the president to interact with his subjects, Nana Imprim VII lamented why the project had not commenced, even though funding had been advanced by the Netherlands government.
Second phase here, we do akwadi yeyim den ho krata oda oye osuafa ohwe adansi nsuhu ndwuman our office. Kratei Ashenichan, Arukwafi, Ibenadara, Nekunfiman, Gomaman, them to the Mohawi, Orama Abatuhen, a man numbers and Shen Yaya, near Bakar Sabia, on my pain upon Oria, and soon him Hoshi. Yade, yeah, Makwai, Madam Opinion, on Fathom Wagen. Enfin, Masha, here no my opinion, Nana by him the Biarada. Sika, oh yeah, 3.46 million euros. Sika total back to Abby. No Belgium, Aban, or Dabada. What fine second facing? Ibn say, I don't want to yet to work. Never does upon a Yarichan.
The Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing was quick to explain.
Yani Minister of Finance, Edim Komo. Nananum, a woman say, Min free a kumfi. Edie nanso menyin ni se mekatamania ye kunfifo abro se ye de krata abedan me na metena so se menya ho adwuma na menya mabro da ne moye ne nei abo madwuma enam se ahwene timpani ni mu anana ma bi nyira ye betase ni nyina o mampanya betena machi ena nanana ma kunfi ebo mesobo Ubenya say, Minquan and Ban and Kamuba Subu and Akam de Subu, where you are Subuano Nananum, me give said ya ma kan ha se mo anka anka mo ha me papa minim ye se ye firi ha ne ya sa ko ya kira bibia betoto no kwam se be se de wo kan asa kire eninsuo enkura kase wo ha ye nyanyansuo maamu enkanka gomwa menim wo mo a wo masase so ye twinsuo na betitie na wo mo nyansuo no bia nananom na opaduma no ho ntoma ma no ye enye ye.
President Mahama then assured the chiefs and people he will follow the development.
Ampa omowie first phase, aka second phase. Na nana senior kan no, ne wo kan no, say Kenya no, any finance for nti mekwa me hye mo boss me a me di meni ekohwe na ya make sure say sa attack krata na wo so omosan na say sika ne ba ne di wie adwuma no ya be sign enimeni me ya echina na echinachi a na akọ parliament na yetimi abewie adwuma.
The water supply system currently covers about 14 communities in the Ekonfi traditional area. But if the second phase is completed, many more communities stand to access potable water. For Joy News, Gifty Ando Apia, Gomwa, Central Region.
Well, so that's it. But it will be quite amusing for you to go with the president to an event, and the chief of the area is giving you a blast. So
I mean, but that is what... That's what we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you think you're frustrated,
fear no authority.
When the authorities come there, then you give it to them. I mean, that's it. You'll get results.
It will be very interesting. And the gentleman, the Minister of Water Resources, Works and House, also decided to explain and reply him there and then. It's almost as if, well, sometimes, yeah, I guess we have to gag our comments sometimes. But let's just give you a recap of our top stories for the morning. Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital has announced it will start discharging patients, even those who have not fully recovered as a result of the unreliable inflows that should be coming in for food and other drug essentials for the hospital.
Atani Bridge to be closed to vehicular traffic from Monday, March 10, 2014. This is to enable the Ghana Highway Authority undertake some major rehabilitation works. The closure will last for 24 months, and motorists are to use ferry services that will be provided at Senchi and Accra to cross the Volta River. Okay, so from the period.
Well, if you think that will be a problem for the citizenry, a lot more issues are always a problem for a lot more people. Well, the issue of anti-gay laws that now is being promulgated across the African continent, and already we've had a big person making some pronouncements on the subject. Peter Cardinal Texan has denounced Uganda's anti-gay law and says that the issue of punishment and prosecution within the law of homosexuals is not a very good thing, because homosexuals really are not criminals.
And that is generating a lot of your comments.
It is. You have some
very, very interesting comment that you might want to quickly get on Facebook, but I'll share with you a few. Abednego says, yes, it's not a crime in Ghana to have a sexual affair with the same sex because the law is silent about it. But if the law in Uganda spells it out that it is a crime, then period. If homosexuals are not criminals, then who is a criminal? He can, how can a religious leader make this unfortunate statement? Okay, so that's generating different interpretations, and I found a very interesting one that I quickly want to read it out to you. But some respectfully disagreeing. Al Hassan says, Cardinal, I disagree with you.
That's right.
If stiffer punishment is used, it would become a force to deal with in future. It is not African, and it is animalistic.
Okay. There's always the argument that has always been attached to the issue of the church's pronouncement, whether for or against it. The point is, if people you feel are sinful, what do? Do you sack them away from the church, or you draw them into the fold of the church and try to change them?
Yeah, I think the latter, yes.
That's
the whole, exactly.
So when it comes to homosexuality, what should be the stance of
you know, I was listening to a member of parliament say that Ghana as a country, yes, our former president, the late president, did take a stand as to, you know, the issue with homosexuals, but we do not as it is now, have a policy like a clear guideline,
a law?
That has our position
I tell you what, currently, looking at what Uganda is going through, I don't think that the government has the guts to promote any law at all. Yeah, I think we should just stay as we are, because we know it's...
But the argument is, we've decided to stay as we are, but the young people are gradually being dragged into this.
Not young people, I think old people even.
Okay, so a lot of people are being dragged into this, and nobody is preaching anything clearly apart from the church.
Well,
nobody is publicly saying, you know,
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that's also some food for thought for you. Please get interactive. We have the social network page on Facebook, Join News on TV. As you get interactive, though, please also know that we have a short code 1760 for you to text, and then we'll get to relay some of those comments to you in the course of this whole program, the AM show, always live on the Join News channel of Multi TV. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the weather. And we'll also be doing a lot more discussions on AM Talk. And of course, we have to discuss this on AM Talk.
And we'll just pause. We're not necessarily taking a break. We just want to give you some time to grab your mug of mixed coffee and join Baba Tando as she gives you sports, which is brought to you by Tigo and Cowbell. Stay with us.